I'm so excited.
Yeah, me
I mean,
too.
we built this day around you.
Don't believe the hype.
You said you was coming. I said, we going to make it work, okay? I am so excited for you to join me.
I'm really excited to be here. I love watching what you do. And we've been talking about me coming by for some time,
Yeah.
but time, place, and circumstances matter.
I mean, I have known you for over 23 years at this point. We've been friends since college. We pledged together. I tell people when I look at you on CNN, getting folks together, snatching edges, gathering folks, I say she always been this girl.
Yeah, I kind of have. It's funny, last night I was thinking about something and I was like, oh, I heard the word smart aleck on a commercial. And I hadn't heard that word since my childhood because that's what my mom always said, don't be a smart aleck. And I leaned back and I said, well, that smart aleck is kind of getting me paid right now, paying the rent. I just have always been somebody that when I see something I don't like, I say it.
Yeah.
To my friends, to my family, and to my foes.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I want to just jump into the Route 100 because you and I went up to New York
Thank
to go
you for
to
coming. That meant a lot.
I was like in awe of you. I was just in awe. I was like, I mean, the audacity of it all. I said, to be in that room, to be in that space where you have reignited this vigor and this passion to share Black stories. I mean, I want you to talk about this because we didn't have many a conversation about how the Route 100 came into Black ownership again.
Yeah. So just a little backstory. When I was at Ohio State, when you met me, when I was in high school, I worked for the high school newspaper, the Irish Times. Somebody from, I don't know if you remember Mecca, but he sent me an article of like Ashley's answers from Black Horizons the other day on Instagram, where I was like telling the story of how during the spring on the South Court basketball courts, the police would come and tell basically harass Black kids to like turn their music down and not hang out. And I was like, this is an injustice. And I was reading that and I was like, I always been yapping and seeing something and saying something. And so writing and telling stories, whether it be on camera or in print, have always been something I've been interested in. And quite honestly, Black Horizons, the reason why I'm telling the story is that we started Black Horizons. Black Horizons did not exist. Rob Taylor and I decided that the current school newspaper was not doing what it needed to do for Black voices. And so we started something. And then fast forward to President Obama being elected. I always say I was a journalism major. I've always wanted to be a commentator on CNN. But at 22, you're not going to do that. You don't have the experience. And so I started Watering Hole, the company that now owns The Root. And so when this opportunity came, and I planned for this opportunity for years, but it happened really, really fast. And the saying of stay ready so you don't have to get ready. We say that sometimes in passing, but it is really true. You have to do the reps so that when it is time to run the race, you are ready and you won't exhaust yourself.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Obama because you worked on the Obama campaign, and all of those steps have prepared you to be the freedom fighter that we see on television every week.
Yeah, I most people don't know this, but we prayed before the show started, right? And my journey with my faith has been essential in my walk. And the thing I say now and the thing it's evolved, but the tenets have been the same, is let me be a living sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it is not about me. This is bigger than me. This is God. This is the ancestors. This is something I am just a blip in the universe to bend towards justice, right? And so I pray about it, and when something is not right, I walk away, even though, and that took took some time to get that skill set of walking away, right? To be clear, because you be praying and be like, "No, God, that's
I really think it looked like
this." I know you said that, but I think what you meant to say
you didn't mean it like that.
You didn't mean it like that. Yeah. I know you meant it in a different way. So His will, not my way. My will. So my faith has played a big role in it, and it's just been a constant journey of is this for me? And if it is for me, it is only for me.
Yeah.
It is only for me. If this is for you, it is only for you. And here we are.
I mean, you, in your speech at the Route 100 Gala, you really charged the audience with knowing and understanding and leaning into their assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And you being a former teacher with Teach for America,
Yeah.
you've always looked at this as being your clear, defined assignment.
Yes. So if you go back to 2023, look, I've worked on presidential campaigns, I've won presidential campaigns. So working in national politics seems like it would be the next step would be work on the 2024 presidential. And lots of people came and told me that is what I should be doing. But I remember going into the new year of 2024, I had an experience where it was just like, you have to really stay in your lane. You have to remain disciplined. You have to know that God has put a calling for you to start Watering Hole Media. And it doesn't feel like it's going well right now. It doesn't feel like the checks are clearing to keep this thing going, but be faithful, my good and loyal servant, you know? And so I just kept going and going. And the team went from 25 to 20, 10 to 2 to me. And I'm like, okay, what we doing out here, you know? And then it started to pick up, but I was faithful and I was committed because this was my thing. And so even when like the vice president, Kamala Harris, became in the race, the temptation to go and work on a historical campaign like that was there.
Yeah.
The call came, but it wasn't God's call.
It wasn't God's call.
It wasn't my assignment. I had a chair to protect the vice president in a way that very few people got to do on national television. I had a chair to tell the truth when it was really a moment of like, what is this country going to do? I still have a chair. And so while it was tempting,
yeah,
and while that would have been one of those prayers where I said, I think what you said is go on the campaign, God. And, you know, let me do it. But I don't have the root then.
Yeah, you don't have the root. I want you to go back because you and I were talking before we got started, and I mentioned the Alabama brawl.
Yeah.
And how the documentarian will be coming on the show to discuss that moment in history.
Yeah.
And you said that when the Alabama brawl happened, August 5th, 2023, there was this light bulb that went off.
Right. So Watering Hole had been dormant for almost 12 years at that point. I watched the evolution of Black storytelling on digital platforms change the way we saw what had happened with our own eyes, right? So you had white folks who decided they weren't going to need to follow the rules, and Black people, particularly someone who had been empowered to do it, saying, no, you need to move your boat. And when they were attacked, they believed and they did have the right to defend themselves. And so in a moment when you think about the historical context of this country, when you think about it happening in Alabama, people weren't sure what was going to happen. But Black storytellers, without permission from anyone, brought joy, brought comedy, brought truth, brought liberation to that story. And in 24 hours, it's a national holiday in Black culture, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We call it the Montgomery Uprising. And so that day in that weekend, I was around different social justice leaders and we talked about it. And I was like, we have to build infrastructure to empower people like that, to do that, to potentially make a career out of that. And that was when I relaunched Watering Hole.
If that blessed you, trust me, you've only scratched the surface. There's so much more wisdom, truth, and transformation waiting in the full conversation. Click the link in the caption below to watch the entire interview. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Vault Empowers Talks.